What is life? What is life? How do you call somebody alive? Hmm?
If somebody is moving, breathing, moving. If there is something that could at any time somehow vanish, and it has a life.
A dewdrop vanishes in no time. Does it have life?
Somebody could say that it is a drop, it has a drop line, like say on the stars.
Talk about yourself. What do you call as your life, your aliveness?
And Milind,
We have this instrument here. Slower. Anybody can push the buttons and get it to operate in the way they want to. You can record the noise of the marketplace in this, and you can record the most beautiful music in this. It's all the same. It does something. It moves. It reacts. Would you call it alive? Hmm? Would you call it alive? Why not?
because it is reacting, it is not responding.
So then how is breathing, eating, moving
It's not conscious.
a sign of life? What do you mean by consciousness?
Consciousness through like cells of consciousness about what they are doing,
Hmm?
about what we do to survive.
Why doesn't it have consciousness? If I toss it up, it goes up to a certain point and then it comes back. It seems it is making a decision to come back. How is it not conscious? It is making a decision. Something is happening. Just as you wake up, eat, move, sleep, speak. Similarly, this too is doing something.
It's not mechanical.
Hmm?
It can be predicted.
It has no real option. in front of the forces of nature, forces of conditioning. It has no real option. It will only do what it is dictated to do. It might appear to be doing something, but it really does not do anything. It only gets tossed about. It's only a plaything. You can really do something only when you understand what's going on. Only when you understand what's going on. So that's one definition of life. You are alive when you know. You are alive when you understand, and only when you understand. If you do not understand, then you are moving, thinking, performing activities, but not really alive. Are you getting it? One has to be drawn towards understanding. One must have an affinity for knowing, realizing. That affinity is called love. One is pulled towards something. That gives us another definition of life. You are alive if you are pulled mysteriously towards realization, if you cannot do without understanding, if you cannot bear to not to know and yet be breathing. Right? And the more you understand, the more it makes you lighter, because lack of understanding is a burden. Lack of understanding is a confused mass that sits on your head. The more you know, the more that mass keeps getting cleared. The clearing away of that load, that freedom, is a great relief. It is an absence of needless suffering. It is called joy. That brings us to another definition of being alive. Being light. Being joyful. Being grateful that you could lose it. And understanding is a constant movement, because it is never ever absolutely complete. It is a constant invitation. It is a new challenge every moment. So being alive is movement. Being alive is energy. Being alive is freedom. Now you must also naturally see what is lifelessness. To be lifeless is to be in defiance of realization. That is also what is laziness. That is also what is sloth. or lethargy, all the same. Life constantly implores you to move rightly. But if you are hell bent on remaining where you are and therefore what you are, you will refuse the invitation of life to move. That is laziness. Are you getting it? When you are in defiance of the truth, one of the two things or both appear. They appear different but are fundamentally the same. Please note them. One, you might be in foolish defiance of truth. So not only are you defying truth, you are actually actively hoping that by going against the truth, you will reach somewhere else where the same goodies or even better ones might be on offer. So instead of moving towards truth, you actively move towards darkness and falseness, and you show great energy. These people are called ambitious in worldly parlance. They show great energy, but their energy is suicidal. They are foolish. In some sense, they are innocent. Why am I calling them innocent? Because they at least have a fondness for the ultimate state that truth offers. It is just that they want to reach that state without the truth. They want to have the bounties that truth offers through alternate ways. Truth stands for peace. Truth stands for fulfillment. The ambitious one says, I will have fulfillment and I will have peace in some other way. He has a liking for peace. He has a liking for fulfillment. It is just that he wants it using his own personal ways. Getting it? This ambitious one is likely to meet quick disappointment. The more ambitious he is, the faster he will rush towards disappointment. He'll set big and urgent goals for himself. And he'll go and break his head against his own urgency. So he'll be forced to relatively quickly realize that he has been an idiot. Then there is the one who is not in an active defiance of truth, but in a passive defiance of truth. This fellow is the cunning one. I said the ambitious man is innocent in some sense. Because he at least likes what truth stands for. The cunning one theoretically knows very well that truth has no alternative. He knows very well that that which truth offers, only truth can offer. He knows that trying in the other direction is fruitless. So he does not make the mistake of running after ambition. He plays a dirtier game. He just stands his place. He knows that if he moves in a direction towards truth, he will have to change. He also knows that if he moves in a direction opposite to truth, he will have to meet disappointment and therefore he'll have to change. A little belatedly maybe, but he will have to change even if he moves in the opposite direction. So he plays a shrewd game. What's his shrewd game? He does not move at all. He just holds his place. Are you getting it? If you move towards truth, you are gone. If you move opposite to truth, you will meet defeat. So you will again be gone. This fellow is a dirty fellow. He would not move at all. He would just stand. He would just stand. Laziness is the dirtiest trick. And you are safe because you are not actively defying anybody. You are not working against someone. You are just not working. If you work against someone, then you can be charged. With breach of trust. But if you don't work at all, then you cannot be charged with anything except laziness. Laziness is a dirty trick to defy the truth. No laziness is incidental, and the most obvious proof of that is that nobody is always lazy. Had you really been lazy, you should have been lazy even in counting money. But the moment you find a couple of notes missing from your account, all your energy rises to defend yourself and your account. You are lazy as a dirty tactician. You are at war, and laziness is your weapon. Are you getting it? All the qualities associated with being alive are found missing in a lazy person, because life fundamentally is either truth affirmative or not life at all. Life is either a fascination with the truth, dallying with the truth, dancing with the truth, moving towards the truth, getting hurt by the truth, getting broken and renewed by the truth, or it is not life at all. All the things that we talked of as being characteristic of life will be found missing from a lazy person. He will know no love. He will know no creativity. He will know no joy, no freedom. Deadness, worse than that of a corpse, will be found on his face and in his eyes. He'll be able to and ready to bear all this. All in the hope of somehow beating the truth. He is, in some sense, a great tapasvi. He is willingly bearing all the hardships just so that he does not have to do one thing, accept the inevitable. To remain in perpetual defiance of the inevitable, he is prepared to go to any extent. He will make a mess of himself. He will destroy his own life. But such is his commitment, and so resolute is his determination that he will not do the obvious. Are you getting it? And he is not foolish. Had he been foolish, he would have turned ambitious. He would have gone the opposite way. He doesn't go the opposite way. He just doesn't go anywhere. He stays put. He keeps warming the chair. Neither will he work nor will he go out of the door. Are you getting it? The earth is round. If you go towards some place, you reach it. Even if you go opposite, you reach that place. If you do not want to reach at all, there is only one possibility. Don't move. Because whichever way you move, ultimately you will reach. If you are hell-bent upon not reaching, there is only one solution for you. Remain lazy. Just don't move. A lazy person is, in some sense, a unique person. The more lazy you are, the more you must be admired. For your ego power. And patience. You see, the mind is restless. Look at the lazy one. He has conquered the restlessness of mind. Even the habitual restlessness of mind is unable to get the lazy one to do anything. He is almost a yogi. He is sitting, and in front of him, the flies are all over his food. And with great indifference and dispassion, he is watching. You can take the food as his life. He is watching, and his life is going to the dogs. And just like an indifferent witness, unconcerned, untouched, he is watching. Week after week, day after day, hour by hour, minute after minute. His own life is getting destroyed. and he does not do anything. He very well knows what ought to be done. And he knows the price to be paid. It's just that he is determined to not to pay the price. Have you seen suicidal warriors? They say we would rather die than surrender. Now you know why I'm saying that the lazy person is actually admirable in a sense. To protect his beliefs, to protect all the investment that he has put in his own nonsense. He adopts the worst strategy. Truth baits him. The world is the bait that truth throws at man. Truth says either come directly to me or be tempted by the world. Either come directly to me or be tempted by the world. So if you are going to the world, you are falling to the bait that truth has thrown at you. Though you go to the world to escape the truth, but actually when you are rushing to the world with expectation, you are actually rushing towards truth. When you rush towards Maya, you're actually just rushing towards God. It's just that you are rushing in a foolhardy way. You are rushing in a way, in a direction that will make you suffer. But still, at least you are rushing, at least you are alive, at least you have a fondness for something. The lazy one does not fall for any bait. Even the great pleasures of life are lost upon him. If you go to a really lazy one and try to put some activity into him, you might find that you are banging your head against a very dead wall. He is lazy even in pursuing his pleasures. 10 people have assembled for a game of soccer. The 11th one is missing. He's simply lazying on the bed, not even sleeping. You push him to play, he won't go. And it would beat your comprehension. You would think that somebody might be lazy with respect to work. But how is it possible that somebody is lazy about playing? That's the thing with laziness. Even if you rush towards pleasures, you are actually rushing towards God in an oblique way. So the lazy one learns this trick at some point. Be so dead that even pleasures don't attract you. You ask him to go dance, he cannot dance. He won't dance. You ask him to go eat, he would be lethargic even about that. Half the times he would be snoring before sex. Why put in so much effort when one can sleep just like that? Everything that makes life beautiful is a dance, and the dance requires your participation. The lazy one denies his participation. Nothing lifts his eyes up. Because to allow yourself to be touched by anything is to allow yourself to be touched by truth, by God. See, he will become an impregnable fortress. Nothing can touch him. Very quickly, he will just escape into sleep. And when it would be the time to sleep, he would be lazy about sleeping. If he is being invited to play, you would find him lazy, not really sleeping, just dozing. Everything that is life affirmative will be missing from him. And that's a conscious decision that he makes. It's a decision made towards self-preservation. To remain what he is, he must stand against everything that life offers. And if life somehow manages to surround him and breach his defenses and get to him and catch him by his collar, then one thing he will surely do against his laziness: run away. In that moment, he will demonstrate that his laziness was a conscious decision. And when it comes to the shove, he can quickly cast his laziness aside and briskly run away. In that running away, you won't find him lazy. Remember that laziness is not an end in itself. Laziness is a dirty means. I repeat, laziness is not an end in itself. Laziness is a dirty means, a means towards protection of the ego, as simple as that. You are just not prepared to get out of your dirty shell. That's laziness. And the lazy one is not an idiot. Had he been an idiot, he would have turned ambitious. He would have said, who cares for the truth? I'm in love with the world. And in loving the world, he would have sooner than later come to the truth. The lazy one loves neither the truth nor the world. He loves just the stinking self. You take him one fine morning and make him stand in front of a fabulous waterfall. You'll still find sleep upon his face. You bring a newborn to a lazy man and make him hold it. There is a great danger that he might doze off and the new one might fall down. Nothing really arouses him. He knows what arousal is. In arousal, you rise. And whenever you rise, it is possible that the hand of God might be waiting to pull you further up. He will not allow himself to be aroused. He will remain dead and inert. Be it the sound of the morning birds chirping, or be it the sound of a Kabir bhajan, or the most beautiful shlok from the Upanishads. The lazy one would always be prepared to just fall over and collapse. It is dangerous to let anything become meaningful for oneself. If anything becomes meaningful, then your self-contained ego is gone. The ego says, all the fulfillment lies within me. If something outside of itself becomes meaningful, then the ego will have to make way. That is the reason why among the three attributes of Prakriti, the three gunas, tamas has been put at the lowest position. Rajas, the tendency to acquire, chase, act, obtain, run behind, is put at a level higher than tamas. Because if you are rajasic, then your chase and the futility of the chase will wake you up one day. Further, even to chase, one has to exert. And exertion is almost like sacrifice. You are giving up on something inferior in order to get something higher. That is exertion. You are giving up on fat in order to get freedom. That is exertion. The tamasic mind has no intention of giving up on that which is the most inferior. Unfortunately, a huge proportion of people belong to the tamasic category, the category of lifelessness. And that is why motivation is such a sought after virtue. Most people actually need motivation. What is motivation? Please understand. The lazy one is squarely placed against the truth, right? In that direction, he will never move. He won't move even in the direction of the world. But if it comes to movement and he has to choose whether to move towards the truth or the world, then there is some faint probability that he would choose the world. Towards truth, he would absolutely never go. So what is then motivation? Motivation is to make the world tempting for someone. Ordinarily, a man might not find the world very tempting. To motivate someone is to make the world tempting for him. So now the world becomes a motive. Now he feels like chasing something or somebody. That is motivation. Most people are extremely lazy, so they need motivation. And if you are one of them, then motivate yourself. All motivation is false. But there is no other recourse for a very lazy person. Otherwise, he just keeps feeling drowsy. If you are someone who is known as lazy, know that it is not your laziness, but your stubbornness that is the center of your situation, that is at the center of your problem. You are extremely stubborn. Are you getting it? I repeat it, to protect your ego, when you move, you are Rajasic. And to protect your ego even more deeply, when you just refuse to move, then you are Tamasic. And if you are Tamasic, then the chances that you will be able to protect your ego are greater. The word lifelessness is actually not very appropriate. It is not that the lazy man is lifeless. In fact, he has a very rich life. He has a very rich personal life. He has a very rich false and imaginary life. He is all full of himself. He is so densely occupied with himself that nothing ever reaches him. He is not lifeless. He is surrounded by himself. That's his life. In his world, there is him, and then there are hundreds more of himself. There is nobody else. To others, he might appear lifeless. Inside of himself, he is always occupied, always talking to himself, always busy with himself, always raising his own arguments, always conversating with himself. He is his own God. And therefore, he finds no reason to look up to anybody. He is the God to whom he is offering his own life as the sacrifice. If you find him in shambles, if you find him torn and tattered, if you find him destroyed, it is because he has chosen to keep offering himself to his own personal God. It's a very stable situation he is in. And that is why it is very difficult to bring him out of his situation. He has found a God already. And he has also found a way to please his God. And he's satisfied. How do you encourage him to change? That is why motivational theories fail. He is already all right. How will you get him to change? In his eyes, he is perfectly okay. In fact, he is very, very confident within himself. You will look at him and despise him. You will look at him and take pity. His condition is obviously pathetic. But in his own eyes, he is all right. He might be stinking, but he does not feel his own stink. And even if life somehow manages to show him his ugly face, he repents superficially while remaining internally determined to not to change. That is the description of the lazy egoist. Those on a spiritual journey have a lot to learn from the lazy ones. Patience, determination, resolution. Surrender. Offering of the self. We often say that those who are committed to God are prepared to destroy themselves, don't we? We say that those who are committed to God are prepared to. Is that really so? If you really want to see who is prepared to destroy himself, go to a lazy man. See how he willingly destroys himself so that he can keep pleasing his personal God. His entire life is a great tragedy and he's proud of it. That's real loyalty, real dedication towards the one you love. Very few tapasvis or yogis or sadhaks can match the one-pointedness of the lazy man. And it requires a certain equanimity. Winters or summers, he is lazy. Profit or loss, he is lazy. Scolded or praised, he is lazy. he puts such great abidance in his laziness that even the Atman feels jealous. Now, do you want to call him lifeless? No, he's not lifeless. In fact, if you can take him into confidence, that will be greatly difficult because he is far more shrewd than you are. But if you can somehow catch him in a weak moment, take him in confidence and ask him to narrate his inner world, you will come to learn how colorful and vivid it is. It is full of fairies and angels. He has great ideas and thoughts. In his own eyes, he is some Prince Charming. He can go out and accomplish anything in his own world. He does not need this world because this world comes from the truth. So this world is just a ploy of the truth to trap innocent, ambitious men and women. So all his workings are in his own world. That's where he lives. We are not talking of one particular man. This man lives within all of us. To this degree or to this. The degree varies, but this dimension exists within all of us. I was once with a friend. We were deciding upon a place to eat at. I suggested a particular cafe. My friend said that place serves lousy stuff. I insisted and persisted. So we both went to the cafe of my choice. The food was awesome. My friend didn't eat. That's the lazy man. In defiance of the truth, he ensures that his life remains tasteless, worthless, lifeless, because he must prove his own personal truth. He must remain against the absolute truth. He would rather remain hungry than accept that the world is delicious. And if you argue with him, he would prove to you, conclusively prove to you, that the food is indeed shoddy. He will prove it so shoddy that even your own taste would be spoiled. You would get confused. Even your taste buds would get confused. Look at his fasting. How is it not deeply religious? Being lazy is almost like fasting. You are not allowing all the taste of the world to come to you. That's why I said that the lazy man would beat many a spiritual seeker with his raw determination. Life is tasty. Colors are tasty. Men and women are tasty. Sports are tasty. The grounds are tasty. The markets are tasty. The hills are tasty. The rivers are tasty. Everything is so tasteful. And for the lazy man, there is only fasting. The wonders of the world are dancing in front of him. The greatest magic is happening. And he is about to fall over in sleep. His eyes are already half closed. He is struggling hard, or at least demonstrating so, to remain awake. He knows that if he lets the butterfly sits upon his shoulder, some of the color of the butterfly might rub upon him. He knows that if he goes too close to the river, a few drops of the water might just manage to wet his dryness. He won't go close. He won't go close even to disprove the might of the river. He will just stay where he is. Dead. Now, how do you prove to him that the river is wonderful? He is not even discrediting the river. He is not even terming the river unattractive. He is just not interested. He is so complete within himself that he has no interest in anything outside of himself. He is so total. He is almost on the verge of enlightenment. The knowledge of the greatest seers cannot move him because he is himself the greatest of all seers. No Upanishad is relevant to him because he is himself the fountainhead from where all Upanishads arise. Obviously, there is no guru or master or teacher for him because who can be the guru of God himself? He is close to total, absolute. And since he is close to total and absolute, you now know what would work upon him. Only total destruction. Only absolute suffering. And that is why people are not absolutely lazy. Because absolute laziness would result even in physical destruction. They are selectively lazy. As we said, they are never lazy enough when it comes to counting money. If you are absolutely lazy, then only absolute destruction can help you, and so you get absolute destruction. But then that would prove to you that being absolutely lazy was a mistake. You'll not let that happen. You'll keep your laziness diluted to the extent it can survive. You will work just as much as keeps you hanging. And hanging at least till the point you are getting easy money. Look at it, till the day you are getting easy money, you will keep hanging. The day the flow of the easy money stops, you will not be lazy enough to not to leave. You will suddenly gather energy to leave. Now where is laziness? Laziness is such a lazy word. We better have more demonstrative words, more suggestive words. Instead of calling somebody lazy, let's simply call him His Highness, His Holiness, His Godliness. What may I offer you? Your magnificency. Though we very well know that you are in no need of any of our offerings because you are absolute within yourself. What can the trivial temptations of this ephemeral world mean to you when you have timeless and eternal inertia within you? That's what the great self has been described as, that which does not move. You are Atman personified, that which moves not. That which is unchangeable, that which is unfathomable, that which even the greatest of teachers know nothing of. That thou art. Rise so that we may offer obeisance at your lotus feet. Who can shake you? Who can make you? You are what you are. We can only marvel. You are beyond thought. You are beyond imagination. What you are is beyond the grasp of ordinary human beings. Now, questions. Nitish is saying, sir, how to overcome this problem of lethargy? Is it a problem at all? It is your greatest joy. Come on. There are so many things that you do to yourself that make you come alive in pleasure. Do you go to a doctor to get rid of those things? If I try to do so, then I put so much energy in it, or I can say it is as excitement, that it becomes frustration after some time. Do I need a continuous motivation? Why are you exerting yourself in writing so much? Why work when you can shirk? Even your pen would have been amazed. Also, when I play computer games, I feel bored after some time. Then I immediately go for sleep. Those must be old games. You must consult someone who can refer you some recent games. You don't need spirituality. You need more updated versions of games. First of all, see that you do not take these as problems at all. One doesn't call his greatest defense as a problem. That's dishonesty. You are saying excitement can become frustration after some time. I'm sure you would be experiencing no frustration. Where is excitement in your life? Do you know what it means to be excited? It means to really go crazy. Like kids playing football. And in another 5 minutes, the hooter is about to go off. And the scores are tied, 2 each. And one side must prevail. Have you seen them go crazy? And one is bleeding from the knee. And one is tired, and all are sweating. And a fat one is huffing and puffing and still running. That's excitement. And someone is even prepared to play foul. Someone is shouting handball. Someone is saying last 2 minutes. That's excitement. Have you experienced that? So where is frustration? Even to be frustrated, you must first of all chase something. Have you ever chased something, anything with all your might? Have you ever fallen for anything? Have you ever loved? Loved anything, anybody? A girl? Loved so terribly, so badly that you are prepared to just go to pieces for her? What frustration do you know of? Defeat is a rare fruit available only to those who, first of all, try with all their life. What do you mean by frustration? All you know is minor annoyance. To be really frustrated is to, first of all, have really tried. And to really try, you have to come alive. Come alive. Remember, all movement is movement towards the truth, either directly or indirectly. But if you haven't tried, if you haven't moved, what frustration are you talking of? Give yourself crazily to something. Sell your soul. Then you will know what life, what liveliness there is in defeat. Chubby cheeks. You have to have a heart, and you have to let it go to pieces. You have to let it be shattered. Only then do you discover that your personal God is false. Because your personal God gets shattered along with your personal ego. Your personal God will not help you pick up the pieces. Somebody else does then. Then you come upon the real one. The personal one that you have been cushioning so long, has existed so long only because of the cushion. Let it face the test of life, the facts of life. And it will be inexorably shattered. You know that. That's why you don't move. That's why you don't allow it to be tested. Because it will fail the test. We have come to a strange point. We started with incompleteness. And we have come to a horrible kind of completeness. This series started with incompleteness. And we have come to a very horrifying completeness where the fellow feels complete. One of my favorite rabbits, Nandu, she died a very painful death. She got a disorder of the stomach in which the stomach bloats up due to gas. So the rabbit keeps feeling as if she is full. She doesn't need any food. From within, no signal arises to take in food. Even if you offer food, the rabbit won't take because the rabbit is feeling already sufficient. And the rabbits continuously need to chew and take in food. Every few hours they must eat. Nandu didn't eat for 3 full days, and it was very obvious that she was coming closer and closer to death. In fact, it is a miracle that she could survive even 3 days. Till her last breath, we kept on trying to feed her. She won't take it anything. The doctors tried some injections and other things. Nothing worked because it was a false sufficiency within. She died in my hands. I couldn't do anything. A false sufficiency. I'm already full. I was trying to feed her even in her last moment. She didn't accept. She felt already full. I don't know what's worse, incompleteness or false completeness. In the eyes of the person who is falsely complete, you will never find wonderment. You know what is wonderment? When you come upon something new. He would always look at you as if he already knows you. I know. Because within himself he is possessed by the thought that he knows all. He is the master of his kingdom, the god of his territory. His eyes can measure but never worship. In fact, he knows no sacredness. For him, nothing is sacred. That is one quality of the man complete within himself. He knows no sacredness. He has no feeling for the beyond. He can utilize everything. Getting it. Instead of a 4-session series, it has become a 5-session series. Incompleteness, defeat, shame, lifelessness, false completeness. Incompleteness now appears almost a virtue. Incompleteness at least makes you look into the world, if not into yourself. False completeness will not allow you to look even into the world. You are your own world. You will have no liking for facts. You'll have no interest in what's going around. Why do you need to know about what's happening in Europe or Africa or in the Amazon jungles when you are so complete and comfortable within yourself? Why do you need to have knowledge? Knowledge can disturb. Why do I need to know what's happening? To the animals on the Arctic. When I have an entire universe within myself, I'm occupied, I'm busy. I have important matters to take care of.
But howsoever much you live in defiance of facts, facts have a way of affecting you, making their presence felt and troubling you. This self-contained man copes with facts by deliberately not putting them in perspective. You know what is perspective? Having a thing belong to where it really belongs. Putting things in their proper place. That's perspective. The self-contained man has an aversion to perspective. If he comes to know something, he will make sure that he puts it in the wrong place. Deliberately puts it somewhere else so that he may not have to face the import of the fact, so that he may not have to accept the full force of the fact. If he goes to a temple and he is asked to put his footwear outside the premises of the temple, he will say, why? Don't the feet and the footwear belong to God? And he is right. You cannot quarrel with him. He is perfectly right. But by raising an impertinent argument where there should be none, he has allowed himself sufficient disturbance to escape sacredness. Now he has set his own terms. The temple could have turned him meditative, and in meditation he would have seen all his falseness. But by bringing in an issue which is actually a non-issue, he has successfully and cunningly managed to subvert the real issue. Do you see this? It's like you receiving your medical reports from the pathology, and you start discussing the quality of the paper the report is printed on. And not only are you discussing, you are actively complaining. Why is it not 80 GSM? By giving prominence to a non-issue, you have successfully diverted attention from the real issue, and the real issue is that the reports are declaring that you have cancer. You don't want to talk about that, so you're talking about the color and the weight of the paper. Even if this self-contained, stubborn man is in the most sacred of environments, he will find some way to somehow escape sacredness. He's like the fly in the temple. What does the fly in the temple do? From somewhere it finds filth and goes and sits on the filth. And by sitting on the filth, it is successfully able to declare that the universe is filthy. And even if it's the cleanest of temples, the fly will manage to find filth. And create an alternate perspective, an alternate story. The priest will have one story to tell about the temple, the devotee will have one story to tell about the temple, and the self-contained man will have an entirely different story. That's called lacking in perspective, or having a totally false perspective. When you feel incomplete, kindly don't fill yourself up with rubbish. In time, you will invest in the rubbish and will have all the incentive then to declare the rubbish as rich, meaningful, and true. Your car didn't have tires. In desperation, you brought bicycle tires. And fitted your car with them. The only way now you can prove your choice correct is by not letting the car move. You'd have your car stand as a showpiece. That is the only way you can somehow protect the tires. If you move, you would be exposed. That's the lazy man. He has put in a lot of investment in his falseness. He is false from the head till the toe. He is totally and absolutely a debauch. That's why he will not move. If he moves, everything will creak and crumble. Life will tell him that he is a failure. Life will tell him that everything about him is false. So he would just not face life. That's the trouble with facing life. It tells you what all is wrong with you. So remain confined in your self-complete world, where you are all right. I'm all right here. Incompleteness leads to shame and defeat, and if you are repeatedly defeated, you feel lifeless. But all of these are at least states that make themselves felt. If you feel lifeless, You would be prompted to do something about it. But what if you keep feeling lively within? And all attempts of life to bring you into the arena keep on failing. I'm already good. What's wrong with you? Why do you want to change me? Do you want to dominate me, possess me? It's just that the car won't move. But still good for taking selfies. You can avoid the tires in the selfies. Or you can tout them as fancy tires, latest technology, uses very little rubber, gives better mileage, eco-friendly. When everybody else is asking for the roads, for the highways, for the hills, our man is always asking for the parking. That's the only place he can be safe. So he'll search for a job where he can safely park himself. He doesn't have to. Movement is dangerous. Tires get exposed. One's foolishness gets exposed. One made a claim long back, I am complete. That claim gets rubbished. One doesn't want to be proven a liar. One earned a lot of satisfaction by claiming to himself that I am complete. Now, one doesn't want that satisfaction to be trashed. It hurts to see your entire life being declared as a big, grand lie. So I would rather park the car. Life is a party in which he won't show up. To be shown up is sometimes to be blown up. He doesn't want to be blown up. Where have you parked yourself? The world is the dance of Shakti. One gets attracted to the dance. The dance is hypnotic, it mesmerizes. You come to Shakti, she laps you up. Takes you in. And in her insights, you meet Shiva. What if no dance attracts you? How do you meet Shiva? Not possible. Not possible. That is why youth is such an opportunity. One is attracted. One can fall for something. One feels incomplete, so there is an urge to know the complete. And when you feel attracted, you must have conviction enough to stay attracted and do justice to your attraction. There is the yogi who is attracted towards the God within. There is the bhogi who is attracted to the God without. And then there is the dhongi who is attracted but is such I'm searching for the right word. I don't want to offer anything short of the most piercing abuse. Help me. I don't know. Let's just say retard. Who is such a retard that he won't even accept that he's attracted. Because to accept the attraction is to become uncomfortable. If you accept that something outside of you calls you and compels you, you'll have to leave your place. You'll have to move. Hmm. God invites him to the heavens. He would rather sleep. A heavenly girl invites him to the discotheque. He would rather. Neither God nor girl can move him. His face remains as lively as a cow dung cake. Very organic. Yes, anything?
What is the way out?
Absolute destruction. When there is absolute commitment to the false, the only way out is absolute destruction. The quantum of destruction you need is directly proportional to the quantum of your commitment to the false. If you are committed little to the false, a little bit of destruction would suffice. But if you are as committed as, let's say, well, then you need a fulsome dose. Even in that, there is a catch, because you are anyway destroying yourself. So destruction doesn't come as anything new to you. You see, to the vast majority of sane people, destruction is an alarming word. But is destruction an alarming word even to the one who is anyway gradually destroying himself? Only God can help. Some shock of such great intensity is needed. That all the dreams immediately evaporate. Have you ever seen pigeons perched in one line on a terrace wall? And then off goes some cracker or gunshot. And all the pigeons are off together. That kind of shock is needed. This fellow is very stubborn. Small, piecemeal, gradual, incremental remedies, he's gone beyond them. You need someone who can catch you by your hair and pull you out of your hiding hole. Hmm? You need to be dragged out into the sun and then be laid out to dry. Yes, sir. What's your hiding hole?
This is a question by Jyoti ji. Acharya ji, Osho says that lethargy is afraid of the unknown and afraid of life. When I am fine with the role that I am in, family responsibilities, etc., and do not participate in social activities just because everyone is doing, am I escaping from life? Thank you.
Occasionally you must keep checking, Jyoti. Occasionally you must keep checking so that this doubt is put to rest. I'm not advocating that you must keep compulsively partaking in social life. But occasionally you must just go out to inquire what's really going on. And then when you find that you actually really do not need what happens in the social circles, then you can bypass them. But if you remain aloof from the social happenings for too long a period, then there is a probability that you may start living in an internal make-believe world. So just once in a while, go out and socialize. If it so happens that you find nothing of value there, fine. Come back home. But it may happen that you indeed do find something of value there. Then take it, accept it. Learn from it. Allow it to change you. Remain open to the possibility. Right?
Another question by Neeraj ji. A lot of time I've seen lazy people claiming they are more intelligent, and due to that they find innovative way of doing things, not the hard way. Is this also example of being too full of themselves? Is narcissism also part of laziness?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, you have said a lot of times, this will be the case every time. You cannot be lazy without being too intelligent for yourself. A lazy man is not only intelligent, he is actually too intelligent. He knows all. Otherwise, how can one refuse to learn from life? And there is only one way one learns from life. By being with life, by allowing oneself to flow with life. The only reason you can offer yourself to not to flow with life is, do I need it? What will the flow give me? I already have it. Narcissism is just another name for being full of oneself, full of only oneself. I hope we are able to put laziness in perspective. Laziness is no ordinary disease. Laziness is a total denial of life. Laziness is not just a superficial refusal to work hard. Laziness is a refusal to live. I don't want to live because I am already alive here. And when you say within, the within in the case of the lazy person is not truth or Atma. The within in the case of the lazy person is the personal mind. That is why I said that the lazy fellow will never be find wondering. The moment you start wondering, you have no option but to explore. And exploration is the antidote of laziness. The lazy fellow just does not want to explore because he already knows.
So, is laziness really about the outer movement that we see, or is it more subtle? Because I'm seeing that there are people also who are moving greatly, doing all about, but they are in their head. I mean, a man can be lying there because he's conditioned to. A man can be walking because he's conditioned to. But both are common with one thing, that they're with their head. Or is it like that if he's with the head, then he's bound to be lazy?
We discussed both, and we said that the fellow who moves to avoid the truth is less of an evil than the fellow who just stays put. Because if you are moving to avoid the truth, you are moving into the truth. Wherever you would go, you will go into the truth. But if you are staying at your own personal position, that's where you can most successfully defy the truth. That's why we said that the lazy man is more stubborn than the ambitious man. Ambitious people often scoff at lazy people, don't they? Ha, lazy one, look at us, we are moving. They don't know what hard nuts the lazy ones are. They don't know that the lazy ones are one up upon the ambitious ones. You had to run about to save yourself. I save myself just by standing where I am.
This was one brother, one brother.
So it's not being in conscious decision.
Of course. You are conscious, and your consciousness is your only hope. There might be things beyond consciousness and this and that, But in your life, what matters is what you do consciously, because there is anyway nothing else you have any handle upon. If I talk to you a lot about what happens to you in your sleep, how does it help you? Only that which you do consciously and actively is that which you can change. How will you change that which you have no control over?
Fear can also make you lazy, or is it just convenience? Like, or is fear also?
All of these go together. You see, all fear is the fear of God. All fear is the fear of total annihilation. There are small fears, but all the small fears are nothing but shadows of the great fear. The one great fear is realization or enlightenment. That is our greatest fear. One day we will come to know that all of this was just a dream. That is our greatest fear. I'm investing so much in my friend, in my wife, in my husband, in my property, in my life. One day it might be exposed that it was all so foolish. Not only were they fake, whom I believe to be true, even the one who kept believing was fake. That is a great fear. One day I might wake up. So laziness implies that you remain sleeping. If waking up is a great fear, then you will have to remain lazy and remain asleep. All the guys on the soccer field are bullies. So I would rather gain weight sitting on my couch. Mama says I am gaining weight because I am lazy. The fact is I am just afraid of the bullies. Now am I lazy or am I fearful? They might not be bullies. They act as bullies because I walk into the football field as if I am rolling into the football field. I tempt them to act as bullies. Now, am I afraid or am I lazy?
The ball itself that it is being bullied, and there is a chance that it doesn't remain a ball anymore. Bullying is also poking fun of something that is there
They are not bullying you for no reason.
for no reason. You are rolling.
Are you lazy or are you just afraid?
So, but fear is still something that you can overcome. Laziness is never a choice.
Even fear is a choice. I very well know when I'm at the bookstall and I have to actively approach people, then I get mocked. So I would somehow try to convert the 4 hours at the stall into 3 hours. I would begin 45 minutes late. I would end half an hour early. My manager would call me lazy. The fact is, I'm just afraid. I don't want to face people. When I face people, they laugh at me. They poke fun. They offend me. I'm just afraid. So I act lazy. I'm lazy about getting up from my chair and reaching there at the right place and setting it up on time. I appear lazy. I'm just afraid. And I'm even more afraid because what they are saying is true. But my ego doesn't allow me to change. I would rather sit here, hide in my hole, than face the and the crowd is the fact. The crowd is revealing the fact of my life. So I would rather warm the chair here than reach there in time. And because I convert my 4 hours there into 3 hours, I anyway don't get sales. Even in 4 hours, the sales are not going to be sufficient. How about 3 hours? Even less. And that incentivizes me even more to not to move. Do you see how it's a race to the bottom? It's a quick, slippery slope. Very soon you hit the bottom and you stay there. And staying there is what you call as relaxation. I am relaxing there. Lazy. Laid back, chilled out. So you are down in the dumps. You are in the depths of the gutter, not in depths of meditation. You're not relaxing there.
Can it happen from the past life?
All of it comes from the past. But the question is, does that justify it?
The present situation is that you are depressed.
If you actually manage to walk into the football ground, bear the bullying for a while, somehow carry your fat body behind the ball, would you still have space for depression? Remember that the soccer ground is a place that does not offer you even a second of me time. So your personal world holds no value at all there. It's about you and the ball and the players and the goalpost. It's not at all about your personal world. Where is depression? The ball is coming to you. What is depression and how is it relevant in this moment? And you just missed the ball. Even then, do you have space to be depressed? You missed it, you better run. Take a new position. And nobody has the time to keep scolding you incessantly. You will get a few angry stares. Maybe somebody would howl at you once and then get occupied with his own game. Where is the time to wallow in misery and keep thinking about all the bad things in life? Life is like that. Isn't life like a soccer ground? Isn't the ball constantly being passed to someone? Isn't there always a chance that you would be the next to get the ball? Don't you always have to be alert? Don't you always have to be alert? That's why the lazy one won't play.